So to start off, things to consider when we're talking about statistics in pregame, right? You have to honestly evaluate your strengths and weaknesses. All right? You have to use your rankings from earlier that we just talked about to help determine what's important to be strong in. All right? What can you kind of get away with a little bit? You have to be able to be honest with those opinions and know what are our strengths as a team and what are our weaknesses. Okay? Then what you have to do is you have to determine your competitions. What is their strengths and weaknesses? What are they good at? What are the things that drive their success versus drive their failures, right? You have to be able to use that and then take that data and look for patterns, right? Interpret the patterns. You can do this whether it's done by players, by rotations, what stats do they have in their wins that really shine, what stats do they have in their losses that really shine, whether it be serve, receive, defensive, whatever. There's a bunch of different ways you can go about it. But what you have to do is you have to find those patterns, right? And they can't be so general that you can't do something about it, right? You can't just say they're a good hitting team. Okay, but situationally, when are they a good hitting team? Are they good in system? Are they good out of system? Are they good with this hitter? Are they okay in the middle? And then what you do is you take that information, you kind of sort through it, and that's how you're going to develop game strategy moving forward. Okay. In match, things to consider, right? Again, going back, what are the most important things that you can do as a coach that make a difference on your level? Passing and serving, like we talked about, dig percentage. Those are the things that are most important in terms of developing wins. And those are the things you kind of have to focus on. So for your strengths, these are the things that you really got to try to find ways to amplify during a match. As coaches, at every level, all over the place, we have a broad range of resources. High level, maybe Division I, they'll have data volley, they'll have things, they'll have people that can sort through this. Lower levels may have pen and paper, right? You may have one assistant, you may have two assistants. You have to take a look and you have to see what are my capabilities during the match. So that way you can make decisions on how you utilize your resources. Another thing you have to do is you have to be truthful in the sense of knowing what you're good at as a team, what you're good at as a coach, what you're good at as a player, right? So you're going to utilize resources to take statistics in certain categories. But if making those adjustments in a match are going to probably screw up your team, they're not there, they don't understand how to make those adjustments, okay? What are the point of having those numbers? Or you as a coach, if you're really strong at being able to manipulate rotations, create those matchups, then maybe that is something you should focus on. So what you need to do is you figure that stuff out so you can help determine. So one thing that I see across the board all over the place is, you ever see where you went in a gym and someone's just on the bench just taking stats, right? Just statting the whole thing. And for me, I find that to be very unuseful for what we're here. As coaches, we're here in game to help push the strategy, help be able to make changes to get the wins, right? That's the goal as a coach, to help find a way to make an impact, because as coaches, our biggest impact tends to come in practices. So how as coach are you going to make those impacts in the matches? So if you're there just recounting the game on your bench, what's the point? If it's not going to be information that's usable in those moments, at that point you should just videotape the whole match and be able to do that later on. The biggest thing is figuring out in real time, what can you use? What information can I gather during this match that can help me dictate a win or a loss, okay? Utilizing your resources in a way that makes sense for your team. And if blocking isn't very high in your list, what's the point of really focusing on blocking in your resources? If serve and pass is, maybe you should focus more on that. Post-game statistically, again, we have to look at the scores, we have to look at our stats, we have to look at things and compare. All right, what did we do well? What went well in this match? What didn't we do well, right? These are more important, so we put more weight on these versus this, but what did we do well? What did the other team do well? What did they do poorly? And I think the biggest part, which was touched upon in the video, is how did we get to that point? Is this something that we did that forced them not to do well? All right? Did the other team hit 100, and did we keep them out of system 65% of the time, and that's why they hit 100? Or did they hit 100 because they had 20 errors in the match, right? Figuring out those parts and seeing beyond what the hitting percentage is and knowing why we got to that point will really help determine your statistics and how you use them. So after a match, right, we want to use these statistics for something. We don't want to just kind of have a box score and call it quits. You have to see, like, how are we going to use this maybe in practice? How are we going to use this to grow from this moment? How are we going to use this to really dictate patterns amongst what our wins and losses tend to look like?